Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this Severe Tropical Update for September 5th. We're looking at Severe Tropical Storm K, located southwest of Mexico, Severe Tropical Storm Earl, located north of Puerto Rico, Category 1 Hurricane Danielle, west of the Azores, in an area of interest near Cabo Verde. So, again, the same four storms that we talked about yesterday, but a few things to talk about that have changed. Let's start first with K. K getting stronger as expected to become a hurricane and go just west of Baja California. Nonetheless, the winds are on that side of the storm and will remain that way, impacting areas throughout western Pacific Mexico, all the way up into much of Baja California, including potentially portions of South California and southern Arizona as well, due winds, rain, things like that. Again, it's a very large storm, as you can see on the satellite image here. It takes up much of that screen. So again, 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. We're seeing isolated amounts to 10 inches across portions of Mexico with this one. Again, it's going to go wide of Baja, might nick the edge of it, but not too worried about that. Then again, it'll begin to weaken as well, but then it'll stall out off the coast. Potentially, those outer rain bands will continue along Baja California del Norte for quite some time. Tropical Storm Watch is in effect from Loreto to Puerto San Andres Soto, including Cabo San Lucas. At this time, that's the southern portion of Baja California Sur. And then we, again, that tropical alert in effect for much of Mexico, including, of course, Baja California, as it has been for quite some time, as I've been mentioning. Category 1 Hurricane Danielle, not looking great, of course, but it's far to the north. I mean, it's a super high latitude storm. And so we aren't expecting this thing to look like a major hurricane. And of course, it's not a Category 1, 85-mile-an-hour winds. It's beginning to decrease in strength, and it'll continue to do so, also begin to decay into an extratropical cyclone as it makes its way off to the north and west towards Ireland and the United Kingdom. Spain and Portugal look like they're going to be fine on this one, as the latest models have actually taken this storm well to the north of the areas, perhaps even missing the United Kingdom altogether with the latest input. As you see here, the quick jog to the north takes it into Iceland rather than the Northern Europe area. It's going to decrease in strength, not expected to increase much at all, but slowly do so. So it could be a hurricane for the next few days still. Earl, located north of Puerto Rico, as I've mentioned, winds up to 65 miles an hour, according to the latest recon inside of the storm. There's a recon also going into K at the moment, but no data back on that. Bermuda is now up to about a 50-50 chance of seeing tropical storm force winds due to Earl. We could also see some hurricane force winds if it got closer, but I don't think it will. However, we've trended a little closer, and I'll talk about that here when we take a look at the H-Wharf here in a second for Earl. But that's kind of what we're looking at with this. It should stay away from land, but still diminishing effects over Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. That rain and wind will start to lighten up there. And then Bermuda later this week is expected, and into the weekend is expected to see some impacts there. And if you're wondering where Bermuda's at on this spaghetti model, it's right where my cursor is. Again, we have a model blocking it, taking a weird turn that it definitely will not take. But just to show you where it's at, if Bermuda's here, so as it comes up 3 days from now, 4 days from now, 5 days from now, Bermuda's kind of on that outer side of the storm for several days, as the storm makes that turn off and away from Bermuda, which is a good thing. Expect to become a Category 3 hurricane. There's a chance it becomes a Category 4, but as of right now, the consensus seems to be a Category 3 hurricane in about 4 or 5 days from now, as it nears Bermuda. As you see here, those green winds are where tropical storm force winds start, and it's just on the edge of Bermuda. And again, I'll take my cursor. Here's Bermuda, right where my cursor's at. So, it's a shot in the dark. They might get tropical storm force winds, they might not. Hence the Hurricane Center saying about a 50% chance of Bermuda getting tropical storm force winds at this point. Again, variations can occur, and we still have several days till it makes its way there. We have an area of interest we're watching near Cabo Verde as well. 40% chance formation within the next 5 days. Nothing too crazy. Should stay out to sea. No impacts to land with that one. The impact map, we've reduced it down to a slight for Baja California, mainly because it's not going to be on land probably. But rainfall is going to be a big concern. Could see some brief gusts to hurricane force across portions of Baja, especially on the west coast of Baja California. But outside of that, nothing too crazy. We also upped Bermuda to a low risk due to that increase in winds, potentially to low tropical storm force expected with that. Here's the European ensemble models, as you can see here. Almost all of them are off the coast of Baja, keeping K off of making a landfall. Earl, again, makes its way and continues for the next several days, as we've kind of expected. That area of interest develops on most of the models, and Danielle continues with a wide range of solutions. You see that envelope is very large in terms of its future outside of like probably 2 or 3 days from now. And so a question as to where this thing moves in the future, but the good news is no major land ahead of the storm. And GFS much the same way, a little bit more consolidated with Danielle, takes Earl to the south of Bermuda, which is good, and takes K to the west of Baja, which is also good, and a decent amount of model support for that area of interest near Cabo Verde. That's all I have for today, folks. Again, in Baja, portions of Mexico, continue to monitor K. If you're in Bermuda, continue to monitor Earl. And if you're in Northern Europe, I guess watch Danielle for its potential future. That's all for now. Chris 16 for the Catholic Media.